Hello students, my name is Mrs. Geisy and today I'm going to be teaching you about MLA Format. And this is the format that you're going to use to set up your paper in English and probably social studies now and also in college. Today I'm going to show you what should the header look like, what should the fonts be, the size of the fonts, and also we're going to change the default on your Word 2010, and we're going to create a template for you to use in your classes so that you don't have to set up the same paper over and over and over. You can just use the template that's already created and save yourself a whole lot of work. So let's first look at an example. Ignore this part on the right. That's just comments on my work, but you'll see the white section here in the middle is the bulk of my paper. Notice how you first start out by typing on the left-hand side your full name, then type the name of your professor or your instructor. Next comes the title of the class, English 3 or English 4. Next is the date. Notice how I spelled out the date. I don't just have numbers and slashes. I'm going to spell out my date. Notice that in the middle, then next, on the very next line is the title. That's going to be centered in the middle of your page. You're not going to have any, you're not going to bold your title. You're not going to italicize your title. You're not going to underline your title or make your title a bigger font than the rest of your paper. This is very juvenile. This will make you seem like a junior high writer and not the mature, educated high school writer that you now are. Now the very next line after that is going to be the text of your writing. Notice you've got a little tab there before the writing starts. Notice that the whole paper is in double space, Times New Roman 12-point font. Notice that up here in our header, we've got your last name, 5 spaces, and then the page number. Now this is what I'm going to show you how to set up today, so let's get started. You'll notice right away that the font for our paper is Calibri. This is not correct. Why, Microsoft Word? Darn you! And it's 11 point. Why they couldn't make it the actual normal font, I have no idea. But I guess there's no use whining about it. Let me just show you what to do. First thing I want you to do is type your name over on the left-hand side. The next line should be your teacher's name. I would suggest you choose your English teacher. You're probably going to be writing more papers for your English teacher, and they're definitely going to want MLA format, so this will just save you some time probably. Next is the name of your class, and finally the date. Now, since we're making a template, it wouldn't really make much sense to put today's date because you have to change it every time you go in to write a paper. So instead of doing that, I would like you to click on Insert up here at the top of the page, and then insert date and time right here. We're not really going to insert time, but you know what I'm saying. Now remember how I said you don't want to use the one with the slashes and just the numbers. We want to put the regular date spelled out. Click on Update automatically right here. That way every time you open the document, it'll be the correct date. Press Set as Default. Yes. And press OK. Now every time you open this template, it's going to be the correct date. The very next line, you want to put your title, and then you're going to start your paper. And notice I've got a tab here. Highlight your title, press Home on the Home tab right up here on the ribbon, and justify center with this button right here. I just put title and start writing here just as reminders for yourself. When you go to use the template, you'll change it to your actual title, and you'll highlight that and start typing your paper. This is just so that you know what the paper should look like when you open it. Okay, this is a good point for us to start changing the font because we have some text to work with. So highlight the whole thing either with your pointer, or if you go all the way to the top right over here, you can press select all. Now, instead of changing it here, just for a second, click on where it says font, this little arrow right here. And this brings up if you'll remember a couple versions of Word ago, you had to open up these boxes to change everything. This is just a little bit easier. Go all the way down, you're looking for Times New Roman, font, Times New Roman regular, don't put bold or bold italic, font style regular. Now size 11 is really okay, but size 12 is pretty standard, and you definitely don't want lower than 11 or higher than 12. Because if you get lower than 11, it gets to be hard to read, and if you go higher than 12, then the teacher thinks you're cheating and trying to make it look like you wrote a longer paper than you actually did, and you do not want the teacher to think you're a cheater. That would be terrible. So don't do that. Click on 12. Leave everything else alone, but then on the very bottom over here where it says set as default, you want to do that. We're trying to click on all documents based on the normal template. We're trying to set up our papers for the whole rest of the year. So this will make life easier later. So then press OK. All right. Now while you're at it, go to the paragraph section right here. Click on the arrow. We want to make sure where it says line spacing, you want double space. And there shouldn't be any weird indentation or anything else. You should leave everything else alone. Then press set as default. All documents. See, now it looks kind of funky. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing again. And then you want to click on this little button here. Because if you'll look, the new versions of Word, they add this extra space after paragraphs, which is not MLA format and not correct. So you want to press remove space after paragraph. If it says remove space here too, you also want to do that. You don't want to have any spaces in between paragraphs. And now notice how you got exactly double space. That's correct. Now the very last thing we have to do before we can save our template is we want to put that header up there. So double click up at the top of the page and that opens up the header. Notice over here you've got header and footer tools now. Now some people like to just put a number. Oh, look, I'm adding my page number. No, don't do this. If you just type in one, then what ends up happening, oops. If you just type in one, then what ends up happening is every single page on your document comes up as page 1. And since every page of our document is not page 1, that's obviously not what we want to do. So instead, you want to click on page number, or you can click on insert and then page number. We want it at the top of the page. We want it over on the far right. So it comes up to plain number 3. Click on that. And then you want to type in your last name. So my pretend name is Doe. And then you want 5 spaces in between your name and your page number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you just double click anywhere that's not in your header and it'll bring you back to the main page. Now this is a correct MLA format start of your paper. Yay! Now, so we don't have to do the same thing for every single paper that we create in this class and other classes, we want to save ourselves some time. So we're going to save it as a template. Click on File up here at the top left side of the page. Click on Save and Send down here. click on Change File Type, and we want to change it to Template. Now, then we can decide where we're going to save our template. And I vote for the H drive because I think it would be better because you'd be able to find all of your things very easily and you won't ever delete it by accident. Remember how your teacher tells you to save everything on the H drive? Yes, 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 that's what you want to do. And then over here where it says file name, name it like English paper template so you know what it is. Save. And now every time you do a paper for your English class or your social studies class, you can open up this template, click on File, Save As, go down here, change it to a Word document, and now you are magically ready to do your paper. You can change the file name to whatever your assignment happens to be and save it separately. Now, I hope this information has been helpful to you today. I hope that I've been of help to you. If you have any questions or anything, you can email me at jgeise@mvctc.com or ask your English teacher. Have a great day.